Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to our plastics journey here at BASF at K22. Ready for our next creator talk? I am, and my co-creator over here is also Peter Martin Pitak. Good to have you here. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Thanks for the introduction.
Yeah. You're ready to go. I can already see that. You're going to talk about a perfect match for smooth handling. And because that doesn't say anything, I tell the people that you are going to talk about drug delivery devices. And you are going to tell them what a drug delivery device is.
Yeah, a drug delivery device is a medical device where a drug or a pharmaceutical ingredient will be injected or applied. Yeah, the application could occur via, for example, the lung, nose, ear, or skin even.
And why is this field so important, and what are the trends in this field of drug delivery devices?
Yeah, so you have some opportunities to improve the tribological performance or the function of these devices in a very simple way. And this is also the reason why I would like to present today. And yeah, so we have trends, we have diverse trends, we have general medical trends like, for example, aging, growing population, so increased prevalence of chronic disease.
Okay.
For example, also welfare in emerging countries, or for example, but for drug delivery devices, we see a very big increase in the utilization and expansion of technology.
Okay.
So it means the devices gets over the time more and more ergonomic, convenient. So also the self-medication, for example, increased over the time. Perhaps I can explain this to you in this picture here on the slide. This is, for example, the injection device evolution for a hormone growth therapy device. So you see, it started everything with a simple syringe on the left. Yeah? And the device increased, for example, from generation to generation. In a certain stage, engineering plastics were, for example, unavoidable. You have a lot of functional parts which are acting with each other. You also have frictional forces which needs to be avoided. So you need also you have to reduce wear and also noise generation.
I mean, the last one looks like a computer.
Yeah, it's going into the trend. You know, we are in the age of digitalization. The communication between, for example, hospital and patient is also getting more and more from home. Not only home office, but also this kind of
home medication.
Home medication, let's call it like this, yeah.
Okay, you mentioned some of the features, or let's say requirements, that came into these products also with the growth of technology, and that's actually the place where engineering plastics can really play out their benefits, right?
Yeah, of course. We have some challenging, for example, geometries. We have a range of, I would sometimes offer temperatures or different chemicals, but also we have different materials which are interacting with each other, different speeds and forces, of course. These are the main challenges to overcome.
And all of these interactions within the device, they also cause one specific problem, and that is friction and wear with that, right?
Yes. And a perfect material in our portfolio is POM, so our Ultraform grade. This POM is known, for example, everywhere where friction occurs. This is a known material, for example, to be used. And we have we have dedicated medical grades, so-called Ultraform Pro grades, for the specific cases or devices developed.
Okay, why are they specific for those devices? I mean, what's different from an Ultraform Pro grade compared to a normal Ultraform grade?
So the difference is, for example, that these are certified. We have also specific production. Handling in production is different, and also all grades are produced according GMP principles, so the production is more strict, more controls. Also, we are providing change management, which means, in case of a change, we have to, for example, secure the production of the customer.
That's because of the industry you're delivering to, because they have those high requirements.
They need security, and this is what we are offering for this grade.
But also in terms of the, let's say, product features, I mean, this avoiding friction, there's also some optimization in the products, right?
Yeah, you're right. So I spoke about POM, and POM, for example, there is always a tendency when unmodified POM comes into contact, that there is a tendency of higher friction. And also the risk of noise generation. And there are some possibilities to reduce this, for example. And one is, for example, external lubrication. So it means that the lubricant will be applied on the part, and during operation, for example, this lubricant is creating a film on the surface. This is a very effective method, but also it has some downsides.
Namely?
So, for example, you have to manage secondary process.
Okay.
You have the risk of migration into the device or even into the drug. You have, for example, device-to-device consistency issues, or even chemical resistance, and so on.
Okay.
And to be honest, this kind of method was used in the first stages or in the first generation of the devices. The next one is internal lubrication. Internal lubrication means, for example, that the lubricant will be applied or will be applied in a master batch, for example, during injection molding, or will be provided in a finally compound. Yeah? And
now the best one. What's the best way to solve this?
Yeah, to solve the best one is a material combination of dissimilar materials, for example. Yeah, so to give you more information what is going on, I will switch to the next slide, and I need to explain a little bit more the left diagram. Yeah,
you definitely have to, because I don't understand.
Yes, it looks very complicated. No? Yeah. This is a typical curve for a stick-slip test. A stick-slip test means, for example, I have a part which is sliding on a surface, and I'm measuring the resistance, I would say the friction. And here in this curve, you see the static friction. The static friction is, for example, breakaway force, when I need something to move. When it's under movement, we have an effect called cohesive friction, which is more something like an adhesion effect between the contacting other material, and a sliding friction, which is a detaching effect. Yeah? And the task or the target is to get the delta between the cohesive friction and sliding friction as small as possible. As smaller the delta, as smaller the noise generation. And for example, here in the chart, on the next slide, you see POM, unmodified POM, unmodified POM. So we have quite high sliding friction, and also the delta is quite high. Using some modifications, lubricants, you can reduce this sliding effect. You achieve an improvement but the significant improvement you achieve with a combination of POM with PBT, for example. And this solution is quite attractive, I would say even sexy, because it's quite cost effective, and it's simple. Why making the word complicated?
I'm really impressed how you managed to go from this slide to the word sexy. Fantastic performance. So that's then the combination of Ultraform and Ultradur, PBT.
Right.
Is this also a specific Ultradur grade then?
Yes, we have also implemented a medical conform Ultradur grade called Ultradur Pro. But also for these other tribological modified POM grades, we also introduced Ultraform Pro TR, so so-called tribological grades.
Okay. So, Peter, you mentioned that this is a growing market, growing requirements also in terms of the products being used. What are the next steps on the plastics journey when you look at this industry and those specific applications? What's the future going to look like?
The future would so we have unfortunately the case that the chronic diseases are growing and growing, and disposal devices will be necessary, because due to the fact that, for example, reusable devices has the problem when a patient is making a wrong insertion of a cartridge, for example, the companies don't want to be claimed. So the trend is going into disposable, what I see, in my interpretation, and also more and more self-medication, what I explained before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and So here, for example, I have prepared an example. For example, how this tribological pairing with Ultraform and Ultradur could look like in an inhaler device, for example.
That's an asthma
inhaler, yes.
Okay.
A dry powder inhaler for asthma, for example.
yeah.
So COPD.
Yeah.
And you see how, for example, the combination where you have different geowheels acting with each other of different materials, and you have a nice performance. It's comparable like in the car industry. When you have a door and you close the door and the door is making a bad noise, it has a feeling that the car is expensive. And the same here, when something is squeaking,
Really?
it seems it's not working, or it's
I never thought about that, and I never thought about the fact how complicated in terms of geometry and parts being used an asthma inhaler can be.
Yes.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think.
Okay, then that's our talk for today. Thank you very much, Peter. You'll still be around to talk more about the perfect match for smooth handling. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for listening.
Thanks.
BASF. We create chemistry.